Hey everybody, it's Medium Jody Jones coming to you live this Monday with our spirit connections. So we'll give everybody a couple of moments to get on. We definitely have some different energy that is coming through today. And Spirit is saying to me that we're ending a cycle. So we're finishing the cycle. Of course, today is the last day of May. Tomorrow is June 1st. And I do believe that we are shifting into a different cycle. And you'll notice that the energy today feels very different than it has for the past couple of weeks. Hi, everybody. Let me know as you're popping on how you're feeling today, if you're noticing the difference in the shift of energy. So it's much heavier, denser, slower today. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Wanda. So let me know how you are feeling. Let me know how you slept last night, if they're still really busy for you in the dream state, and if you slept well but still woke up feeling tired. Hi, Rusty. Yeah, Rusty's saying feeling tired. So I think that's, Jody's saying feeling tired. Gloria tired. Yeah, so I think we're all in the same boat, guys. So I just took a look to see what the geostorm activities were like today. So we have it's kind of quiet. I think it's at a 2 right now, which is very calm. We do have some activity that's going to be coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, taking us up to a 4, which means that there will be some geostorm activities, which then makes the energy definitely feel faster and quicker. Hi, Joanne from Colorado. Hi, Megan. Feeling super blah, kind of disoriented, no matter how much sleep you get. Yeah, for sure. And we'll find out why that would make sense. Hi, Pam. Feeling tired and down. Good morning, Wendy. Rumi saying, don't know if you're sleeping or dreaming. Okay. Carrie is saying that she lost her sister yesterday. You have my deepest condolences, my dear. Morgan is upset because her grandpa just passed. Yeah, it's interesting because over the weekend, there were a lot of messages that came in through my office about people who had lost people over this past week. So a lot of souls transitioning in this last little while. And I know, guys, and for those of you that are grieving and have lost somebody, I know how deeply it hurts. And of course, I hope that you do reach out for support. And know that, of course, my perception on death and dying is probably different than most because I work in the spirit world. So I know that your loved ones have transitioned out of the human body, but of course will be back in your lives again because of course we're pure consciousness and consciousness never dies. It just changes shape and changes form. Okay. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Tammy. Feeling a bit scattered. That would make sense. Hi, Justina. Feeling tired and slept a lot this weekend. Yes, that would make sense. Good morning, Karen. Dragging her butt. Need a nap already. I hear you. Laura woke up with a headache. Yeah, so the headache stuff was coming in for me for the past couple of days. And that's usually when we have that shift from going from the high into the low lows. So definitely that would make sense. Hi, Kayla, feeling jet lagged. Yes, that's a good description for it. And really that kind of makes sense because we're coming out of kind of one high frequency and then going into a low frequency. So jet lag would make total sense. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. Hi, Tash. Good morning. Kayla saying that she can't seem to shake this. Well, I think we're going to get some support here soon. So I really do feel like this coming out of this cycle that we've just kind of were in for a little bit. Like it was like high speed, right? We were high vibrational, high speed, lots of things being shaken up, lots of things being moved around. And now, boom, it's kind of like we just dropped into low gear. And then I feel like it's interesting because they're showing me the doorway into June looking very different. So June is going to be a very, very different month for everybody, for the planet, of course. Morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Patty. Hi, Christine. Hi, Leanne. Lisa's saying that she woke up at 2 this morning wide awake. Yes, so that would make sense too. There was a lot of stuff happening during the dream states last night. Okay, so when I connected, of course, to find out exactly what this week was going to look like for everybody, Spirit said to me that we are going to be clearing lower energies. So remember, when we're in these human vehicles, we're never going to be high. We're, you know, when I do my group healings and I show you the scale of 0 being everything's perfect, nothing's wrong, and 10 being I've got a lot of stuff going on. We are never ever going to be at a 0 permanently, just because we are in these human dense vehicles. And part of that is that we have a different experience when we experience things because of the vibration of our vehicles. So when we hit into some of these lower frequencies, these lower energies, we need to just ride with it. So we need to not get emotionally attached to it. We need to not go into our minds, our human minds, and try and make sense of it and figure it out and analyze it and put a whole bunch of energy into it. What we need to do is we simply need to recognize that, okay, so maybe this is not the way I would like to be feeling. It doesn't feel great to me. So when I'm feeling like this, I'm going to give myself permission to just coast. So meaning, this is probably not the best time to be pushing through things. So if you've got a project on hand or if you've got things that you want to get done, this is probably not the most helpful energy to do it through. And do yourself a favor. Don't get caught up in the mind trap of, oh, if I don't do it now, if I don't get it done now, that it's going to be missed opportunity and I'm blah, 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 blah. All that story that we tell ourselves. Do yourself a favor and just say to yourself, okay, so if I take an energetic snapshot of how I'm feeling right now, I'm not feeling great. I'm tired. My energy's low. Maybe I'm grumpy. Maybe I've got some anger coming up to the top. Maybe I've got a lot of emotional stuff coming up. And that's okay. I'm going to allow myself to process that stuff, feel it, and clear it. I'm going to allow it to come through and leave in the way that it came in. Remember, when emotions come into our energy field and into our physical body, they have to go back out, guys, right? They have to go back out. So there will be some feelings of it leaving, right? So we have to honor that, and we have to recognize that when we're feeling like that it's okay to just coast. So today, vibrationally, if I had to go in and do a tune-in, so everybody could do this with me right now, just go in and close your eyes for a moment and just kind of go in and do a little scan of your auric field, your physical body. Just notice where anything is like feeling stuck or hurt or heavy or dense or yucky. Just kind of go through and do that. And then ask Spirit to give you your vibrational rating. So where you are on that scale of 0 to 10 and see where you are. So for me, they're giving me a 7 right now. They're showing me a 7. And so that's pretty high in the scale. So that shows me that I've got a lot of stuff, kind of a lot of extra stuff that I'm kind of hanging on to right now emotionally, which then will cause the physical stuff. So I can feel some heaviness in my head, and that's, some of the headache stuff that was happening, but I can feel like some congestion in my body. And so definitely I would recognize this to just be that lower, dense, heavier energy. And so I'm going to give myself permission just to do the bare minimum of stuff today to coast, but I'm also going to do things to support my physical body on days like this. So as an example, when you're feeling low vibrationally like this, if you put low vibrational food into your body, so if you were to, chips or chocolates or junk food or alcohol or any of that stuff that's heavier, even red meat, anything that's kind of heavier on you right now, it's not going to help the cause. It's going to make you feel heavier. So we would recognize this. So today I did my green smoothie this morning, for as much as, I don't necessarily want to have a green smoothie every morning, but I did that this morning. I did my liquid chlorophyll this morning. I'm going to make sure that all the stuff that I put into my body today is lighter so that it will help me so that I don't feel like I'm dying, right? And so this is really important to recognize the frequencies. As an example, the last few days or few weeks, the vibration's been very, very high. And so it's the opposite for me with that. So when the vibrations are extremely high and I'm feeling like excess energy, right, flowing through me, if I do my green smoothie every moment and I do the juice and I do all that, it makes my vibration too high and it gets uncomfortable. It's great for doing my readings and channeling because it allows me to connect with spirit much quicker, but it makes me feel very uncomfortable in my human vehicle. So meaning it's just too much energy, too much frequency. So on those days, I allow myself then to have peanut butter and toast for breakfast, right? Or, have a steak for dinner, or, you know what I mean? So you're adding some of the foods that have a heavier frequency to kind of weigh yourself down a little bit so that you don't feel out of balance, if that makes sense to everybody. And so learn how to tune into your energy, your own energy. This is huge because what a lot of people do is they mistake other people's energy for their own. And so we really, really need to understand what's ours and what's not ours. This is huge. It's also one of the things, I teach my mediumship students and my psychic students. It's really, really important for us to be able to do readings for people when we know what's our energy and what's not. So Dina's saying, why liquid chlorophyll? So liquid chlorophyll is a great energizer for the body. It's a blood purifier. It's a detoxifier. It has antioxidants in it. It gives you energy. It heals your lungs. It does so much. It really, really does. And quickly, instantly, like it works really, really fast. And it has been used for healing for forever and ever and ever. Lisa's saying, will Baltic amber ground me? Yeah, so any type of amber is definitely grounding. Amber is also great for your circulation. So that is very, very helpful with that. Okay, so everybody, yes, I see some 7s on there, right? So 6 and 7. So everybody's kind of feeling the same way, right? And that's... and so Ashley's saying that we're in Gemini season. Yes, we absolutely are in Gemini season. But the Geminis, they roll with the punches, right? If anything we can learn from Geminis is that they, pretty much, can adapt in any situation. So we definitely can learn that from them. We also have come into Mercury in retrograde. So remember that, it's already started for me with technology and communication. So be extremely aware of this because, so interesting that they do this to us. So we have this heavier, lower vibrational energy coming in right now, and Mercury has just gone into retrograde. So now we have to be careful about how we are perceiving that our words are being received, right? Because trust me, there will be a lot of opportunities, key word here, opportunities, that when we say things to people in our relationships, that they're not going to get it, or they're going to get it the wrong way, and it's going to cause some triggers for some of us. Do yourself a favor. I always, as soon as Mercury goes into retrograde, and Spirit says to me right now, a grain of salt. Take things, you've heard the saying, take things with a grain of salt. That's really kind of the approach that we have to take with this. So just kind of know that there's a filter on right now that is going to kind of make things a little bit messed up. And so have the recognition that when you're communicating with somebody and it starts to go sideways, have a little chuckle to yourself and just be like, okay, I remember Mercury's in retrograde, so that's why this is going this way. I'm just going to pull back a little bit. I'll leave this conversation for, I think, June 22nd. That's when it's going to go direct again. And then just having the awareness, and it's interesting because just having the awareness that there is, a different shift in energy that's happened. There's the planet of communication that it's connected to us, whether you believe in it or not, does have effect on all of that. So just having the awareness that, yes, okay, this could be why some things are the way they are, I think is a really helpful tool. I think it's really helpful for us. I was trying to have this conversation with my husband on the weekend, and I love my husband, and he is brilliant and funny and smart and very connected, and it meditates and all of that. I couldn't have more gratitude for him. But, again, he's in his human dense vehicle. And so I brought up the subject of Mercury going into retrograde, and so that we should have the awareness of what our words are and how people are receiving them. And I think it was about assuming. I was saying this is not a good time for us to assume anything. And he did not receive my advice in the way that I was giving it, let's say. So know that this is going to happen. It will happen. And so do yourself a favor and just kind of, again, I allow myself to recognize that trigger, because you're going to be like pulled into possible opportunities. So have that recognition and then have a little laugh about it and be like, oh yeah, just about got me there, but I caught it. I caught it in time and pulled myself out. Do yourself a favor. This is, if we can't laugh at the situations, then, when we're in trouble. Humor is a great break for us. It definitely is. Okay. So let's get into this week's specific guidance from our divine guidance team. So kind of interesting, when I asked Spirit about this week, they said to me there's going to be a lot of quiet time that is needed. They said that there's going to be a lot of alone time. So if you're feeling that need to kind of like disconnect from your relationships, from your friends, your family, all of that, honor it, because it's really, really important right now. And they said to me that there's going to be a lot of thoughts to be cleared. So a lot of thinking, a lot of thoughts that we've had, this is going to clear. Remember, I know that when you think of something clearing, it sounds like all light and fluffy, but remember, it's going to come out the way it came in. So if it hurt coming in, it's going to hurt going out. And I mean, having that uncomfortableness, having that like, oh, this feels horrible. If you've ever had a stomach flu before and you had to, you know what I'm talking about, right? Had to go out, it's not going to feel like a walk on the beach. So prepare yourselves for this, but remember, it is a necessity. It has to happen. It's part of our ascension process. It's part of our awakening. It's part of the journey that we are on. And of course, my spirit team, you guys know they've got the best sense of humor. And they showed me the Gravitron. Do you guys remember the Gravitron from amusement parks, from the fairs? And where you're literally up on the wall, you're stuck on that wall and it's spinning so fast, keeping you up on the wall. And they said to me, this is going to be about coming out of chaos. So we're literally feeling right now like we're stuck in place, like things are not going the way we want them to as quickly as we want them to. And it's a purpose. There's a purpose for it. And so the reason is that we're coming out of all of the chaos. And again, it's kind of like that layer by layer, piece by piece, getting us out of the frequencies or the vibrations that we have been stuck in, if that makes sense to everybody. It should make sense to everybody, because I think that's kind of where we're all feeling, if that makes sense. Okay, so everybody right now, taking a moment, I want you to close your eyes wherever you are. I want you to take 3 slow, deep belly breaths, and I want you to establish a connection with your divine guidance team. So just do this by calling them in. I call upon my guides, my angels, my galactic beings to join me now. And then I want you to ask them specifically for a card number. So you're going to choose card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. And so I want you to make sure that you receive this information telepathically. So you're going to see it, or you're going to hear it, or you're going to feel it. I don't want you to think about it. So don't do the, oh, number 1's my lucky number, I'm going to pick number 1. Number 3 was my mom's birthday, I'm going to pick. I don't want you to do that. I want you to just receive the guidance from your divine guidance team. Part of what we are doing, guys, is we are remembering our intuition. We are connecting with this gift that we have. So everybody, putting your card number that you see, hear, or feel. So 1, 2, or 3. And then we will go in and we will get our messages. And of course, we're working with the crystals as well. So know that before I do the shuffle, I say a prayer for you all. I infuse the energy into the reading. And then the stones come out right after the card. So I don't pre-plan it or pre-choose it. It's always entirely up for spirit. So the interpretations that we get is very, very cool as to how they put them together. So I'm seeing everybody's numbers coming up. That's awesome. And guys, don't forget to like this post as well, right? The more you like, the more you share, more people will get a chance to see it. And of course, by doing this, we are obviously raising the frequency of the planet, shedding the light. So make sure you guys are doing that. Also, if you haven't gone to my website yet and signed up to become a member of my soul circle, please go and do that. You will receive a free gift from me, which is a healing meditation. And then you'll be the first ones to know when I go live, when I'm doing my classes, my workshops, which are, some are going to be coming out soon, which I'm kind of really excited about that. And again, I have to say to you guys, remember, because we had a issue yesterday, there was a whole bunch of people that was messaging the office. If anybody on my page is talking to you, messaging you, private messaging you through the comments or after, or if anybody is pretending to be me, if you get a message from somebody named Medium Jody Jones, it's not me. So please, please, please do not engage with any of the scammers. The ones we saw yesterday were like mind-blowing. They literally had a link to a page where if you put in your credit card information, then you were going to get the free reading. Like, it looked legit. But oh my God, they're mind-boggling for sure. And Facebook does a horrific job of stopping them. They really do. So you guys need to be smart about this. I would never solicit anybody for a free reading, ever, ever, ever. I mean, occasionally when I put a post on my page about being a student, a sitter for one of my students' classes, that's free. You don't pay anything for it. Anytime that you're going to do a reading with me, it's only done through my website. It's only done through my secure, all of the payment, all that is secure on there. You know who you're dealing with. Please, please do not follow anybody off my page. I'm not affiliated with any other tarot readers, card readers, anything like that. So please, guys, be smart about it, okay? Please. And also know that business pages cannot send out friend requests. So know that anytime that you're getting that, it's not from me. And it's not enough just to block them. You have to report them. So I think if they get enough reports on it, then they actually do something about it. But yeah, so make sure today, because whenever we have a high number of people watching or commenting on the posts, it seems like they come in and start targeting everybody. Okay, so that's out of the way. So don't talk to strangers. Okay, are we ready to get our message? We're going to go in and do our cards. Okay, so everybody who chose card number 1, this is your stone. I'll give everybody a moment to take a look at it and connect with the stone and see if you have a guess of what it is. So Any guessers? And these are all raw stones that I'm using, so they're not polished today. They're all raw. Any guessers on this one? Can you see it well enough? And so remember, when we get the stones in the raw, sometimes they're not as bright as a polished stone. So this one might throw everybody off a little bit. But this is an oldie but a goodie. I'm sure that everybody's got some of this. Good morning, Edna. So Tammy's guessing citrine. Good guess. Moonstone. Good guess. Kayla's saying rose. Yeah, so this is rose quartz, guys. So this is rose quartz. Everybody's heard of rose quartz, right? Yeah, Jennifer's got it. Kayla's got it. So rose quartz. So this is a really, really good stone for opening the heart on all levels, right? So for self-love, self-care. So when we're feeling lower vibrationally, this is a beautiful stone to use. This is a really good friendship stone. So if we're needing healings with our friendships, this is a really good stone for that. It's awesome for deep inner healing. So any relationship wounds, any old traumas, this is a perfect stone for that. Rose quartz is awesome for calming and reassuring, right? It's kind of like that warm blanket that goes over top of you, very comforting. And this, of course, is a great stone for comforting during grief or periods of grief. So for those of you who said that you had losses, recent losses, this would be a great healing stone for you to use right now. And then, of course, this stone dispels negativity, right? Of course, because love conquers fear. So this is probably one of the most powerful love stones that there is. So that's rose quartz. So everybody who chose number 1, your stone is rose quartz. And the deck I'm using today is the Getting Into the Vortex. This is from Esther and Jerry Hicks, which Esther is she channels Abraham, which is a group of energies. And so I love that we're going to use this deck today, because I think that we need to infuse a little bit of remembering how vibration works, how frequency works, and using the whole law of attraction teachings will help us out with that. Okay, so card number 1 for everybody is relationships. Can you guys see that? I don't want clarity. Those I do want. Okay, so everybody that chose card number 1, this is about the relationships that I don't want, and clarify those that I do want. So Spirit saying to me, sorting things out. Okay, so let me see if I'm going to be able to read this so you guys can see it. Whenever you know what you do not want, you always know more clearly what you do want. So in any poignant moment of awareness of another person's undesirable situation, give your undivided attention to the idea of improvement that is hatched from your interaction observation. And as you learn to do that, not only will you be of increasing value to others, but you will see how your relationships with others add immeasurably to your own becoming. So everybody that chose card number 1, Spirit is saying to me, this is about sorting out, sorting through. So they're really literally they're saying out with the old, in with the new. So they're really showing me that it's a matter of going through kind of each relationship right now and kind of saying to yourself, is this really what I need it to be right now? Is this supporting me? Is this making me feel good? Is it giving me everything that I need at this time in my life? Remember, this is the thing that will mess us up, is that we'll have relationships that we think, are supposed to be forever and ever and ever. But as we grow and change and shift, sometimes the people in our lives don't do that with us. And so if they don't do that with us, then we will be in different places. And if we're in different places, it's sometimes hard to be able to get the support that we need or feel the connections that we need. And so it's a decision comes upon where we have to release, right? We have to release and move on. And remember also, there can be a going back sometimes. There can be a reconnection sometimes, friendships that you had that you let go of and then going back to it. That happens. That happens for sure. So everybody that chose card number 1, this week, your focus is going to be about resorting, shifting through, kind of doing an inventory of your relationships of, okay, so this one maybe is, and Spirit's giving me, they're giving me ratings on this right now. So maybe that will help you. Again, go through and say, okay, so I give this relationship a 1. I give this relationship a 10. And maybe you let go of some of the, the energy you put into the 1s, right? If that makes sense. So instead of investing into stuff that's not paying back, if that kind of makes sense to everybody, because they're showing it to me in numbers like that. So maybe do that. Sit down with yourself this week, write out a list of all the people that you are interacting with, and then give them a vibrational rating. So like, again, 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, and then see where you are with that. And then also then notice, hey, how much energy am I putting into those 1s? And how much energy am I putting into those low vibrational relationships? And then say to yourself, well, maybe I need to pull that energy back to myself. That makes sense. Okay, so that's for everybody that chose card number 1. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you guys, okay? If that resonates with you. Okay, so on to those who chose card number 2. So card number 2, our stone is, and everybody see this? This is going to be a tough one because I had never really even heard about this stone before until I ordered a bunch and had a bunch in my store last year. And you guys know that I've got my online store still, right? You can actually go and buy most of the crystals I talk about on there as well through the website. I haven't been, advertising and pushing it just because my readings and my teachings and all of that have been so busy that I probably should hire somebody else to do the store stuff because I cannot do it all on my own. Okay, so this is for those of you that chose card number 2. And so this is actually a sunstone. If you guys can see it, and it's raw. I love raw stones because they just have such like strength, honest strength to them. There's strength in the stones. So this is a sunstone, guys. And so the sunstone is great for heightening your intuition. It's a great stone for dispelling fearfulness. So just think of how powerful the sun is, right? It's a great stone for alleviating stress. So it's of course, when you sit under the sun and let the sun kind of bake things away, that's the power of the stone as well. It also increases vitality. So it's a great energy stone for giving you energy. It's also, they call it the stone of good fortune, right? It's kind of like, the idea of the sun is always shining on you. So that would be a really good stone for somebody to have on their desk when you're working. If you're, on your computer, or if you're a creator. And also this is a really good stone for healing the heart chakra. So for heart chakra healing. Okay, so that's for everybody that chose card number 2. So the stone is sunstone. Perfect. Okay, and then your message with your card is, my true success is measured by my alignment. Okay, and I think we talked lots about this last week, but you guys this will make a lot of sense. Alignment with source, being inside your vortex of creation, becoming one with the true expanded version of you is the ultimate selflessness. And yes, in that state of alignment, all good things must come to you. Every rocket of desire that you have launched will be fulfilled. True success is not the attainment of things, the achievement of tasks, or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love with yourself. Okay, so everybody that chose card number 2, your focus for this week is going to be about the self-love, self-care. They're also talking to me about this, and I think we talked about this in a video last week, about getting into alignment with your higher self, with your soul energy. So with your true self, right? And when you're in alignment with your higher self, with your soul energy, that's when you have the best gauge of, the best clarity on things. And it's true, the whole idea about the, financial success, abundance, fame, fortune, all of that. None of that means anything if that is done through the ego or through the pain body. It actually doesn't even happen very well or last very long when it's done through those energies. But when things are done through your higher self, when you're reaching your goals, when you're, having success through being in alignment with your higher self, these are things that are long lasting. These are things that start saying to me, the longevity of it, the longevity comes into it. And I can tell you this has always been the truth for me in my career. So, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I've been a self-employed healer. I started off my career as an acupuncturist. I owned my own wellness clinic, my own wellness center. And I can tell you this, in the beginning years, it wasn't always, financially incredible. Of course, it paid the bills and it paid the rent and it paid all that stuff. But I wasn't, sailing on a yacht anywhere. But I've always been doing, what I've been called to do. And I've always been doing it through my higher self. Of course, I'm here for opportunities and learning, and I've had the pitfalls and I've fallen down and picked myself back up, and I've made decisions through my ego, through my higher self, and I've felt the consequences of it. And so remember, we're here learning through everything. We learn through all of that. But the thing to remember that is, if you were doing things in alignment with your higher self, through your higher self, then things will always go the way that they're meant to go. So remember this, and everything that you're doing, it's huge to be doing this in alignment. So those of you that chose card number 2, your focus is going to be getting into alignment. Your focus is going to be making that soul connection with yourself. Really, really important. Okay. And then of course your stone is the sunstone. Okay, so card number 3, everybody that chose card number 3, this is the stone for card number 3. And I know everybody's going to guess amethyst. It's not amethyst, but I'll give you a moment to see if anybody knows it. This is a Canadian stone. It's actually, it's from Ontario. So take a moment and see if anybody recognizes that. Kayla's saying amethyst. I know everybody's gonna, it really does look like amethyst, but it's not. Okay, so this stone, and you guys should look this up. After you're done, look it up, because it really is a very, very cool stone. And it's called Aura Light. So AURLITE 23. And it has that number on it because it has a mixture of 23 different minerals in the stone. And that's one of the reasons that they say that it's so magical and high vibrational. So do yourselves a favor and just go in and Google that after, because it's really an awesome stone to have. So it's called Aura Light 23. And so it's a really, really good stone for relaxing the body. So relaxing the physical body. Probably because it's got such high mineral content, right? It's got so many minerals in it. It's a fabulous stone for headaches, for muscle spasms, and for the vascular body, so supporting your vascular system. So anybody that, tends to run high with your blood pressure, this would be really, really helpful stone for that. It's a really good stone for harmony and balance. So bringing that kind of like peace over everything that you do. They say that this stone unlocks angelic realms. And so I think, again, because it's so powerful, it just has a higher frequency to it. Spirit saying to me, it's one of the big guns. So it's, it's one of the, again, some of the stones have a more powerful energy. Some of them are more subtle, like the rose quartz is very subtle. This is not a subtle stone. There's also is a stone that amplifies your spiritual healing. So this would really, really be good stone to use with your meditation. So it's aura light. So it's AURALITE 23. So aura lights 23. And this also is a good stone for enhancing your intuitive abilities. So anybody that is working on their intuition, and that should be all of you, this stone is really, really helpful for that. Really, really powerful, powerful stone. Okay, so that is for everybody that chose card number 3. And then card number 3's message is, can you guys see that on there? Okay, and so this is my relationships are supposed to feel good. Okay, so number 3, everybody that chose card number 3, think about how powerful that statement is right there. My relationships are supposed to feel good. That is probably a really good thing to go by. Okay, so let's see what it says on here. It says, your life is supposed to feel good to you. Before your birth, you knew that the primary component of your physical experience that would offer the greatest value for your personal and collective expansion and joy would be the relationships that you would experience with each other. It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationships and to choose from them the details that would make up your creations. And here you are. Okay, so let's see, for everybody that chose card number 3, your specific message about this is, again, it's they're talking about boundaries with this. So this is about creating the boundaries, setting your bar of standard, right? So remember, people are going to treat you in the way that you allow them to treat you, right? In the way also that you were treating yourself. This is the biggest thing. It's interesting because everything is about frequency. Everything is about vibration. It's not always necessarily about what we say or the words that come out of our mouth, but it's in the way that we say them, in the way that they're delivered, if that makes sense. And so if you chose card number 3, this is really, again, it's about kind of experiencing to me the short end of the stick. So having the realization that, maybe you're making too many sacrifices in some of the relationships that you have. Maybe, you're the one that's been giving more than you've been getting back, if that makes sense. But it's also about saying to yourself and having the recognition of, and anybody who is an empath on here, any of my fellow empaths, we get this lesson over and over and over again. We really, really do, because of course, as empaths, we attract a lot of narcissists into our lives. We do. It's the opposites attract thing that happens. And so part of that, though, is that recognition of what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and being able to stand up for yourself and saying, hey, you know what? That doesn't feel good, and I don't like the way you're talking to me, and I don't like the way that you are expecting from me. So it's about standing up for yourself, standing up for your power, getting into your power, right? Really, really important right now. And really important also that when you do this, that you don't do it through the same vibration that they are, mistreating you or not. So remember, when you're standing up for yourself, you're standing up for yourself through the vibration of love, right? Not through the vibration of being a victim, because when you do that, you're just going to get a mirror reflection back to you. So more victim energy will come back to you. But if you start at your with your higher self, getting into alignment with your higher self and saying, I deserve this. I want this. All of that. This makes me feel good, right? This is the relationships are supposed to feel good. And then when you're communicating this to, the relationships that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing for you, you're doing it from a place of self-love, and you're not doing it from a place of being the victim. That's the biggest thing that will catch people up, is that they will try and solve the problems through the same vibration that created it. And of course, like attracts like. So we have to remember that if we're doing it through anger, we will get anger back. If we're doing it through the victim energy, we will get more victim energy back. So if we do it through the vibration of love, so through self-empowerment, right? Then that will come back to us. And it's all in the frequency, guys. It's all in the vibrational frequency that you come into alignment with. So have this awareness before you open up your mouth, before you engage. Make sure that your frequency dial is turned onto the right frequency. This is huge. And especially right now, as Mercury's in retrograde, we know that our frequency needs to be in alignment with what we want, for sure, for sure, for sure. And so this is really important. Okay, so that's for everybody that chose card number 3. And I think the stones go perfectly together. So make sure you do yourself a favor. Look into the meanings of the stones that we had with the cards today. And then also feel into that, how Spirit is guiding you for support with that. So those of you that chose card number 1, the rose quartz, right? So self-love, opening up your heart, all of that. Remember that. Card number 2, we have the sunstone. This is about alignment with your higher self, right? This is about personal successes. Remember all that. Card number 3, this is the Auralite 23. And this is about the recognizing the relationships are supposed to feel good. So recognizing the frequency, the vibration that you're doing things through. Because, of course, that's how it's going to come back to us. Spirit's saying to me right now, the mirror effect. So remember that, the mirror effect, right? Kind of what we see is what we get back. That makes sense to everybody. Jenny's saying her mouth gets her in trouble. So be really careful right now, because it will get you into extra trouble. Donna's saying, what can I do for stress? I am so stressed out for the past few days. So let me ask you this. What are you doing? Are you doing anything to get out of stress, or are you focusing on how stressed you're feeling? That would be the very first place to start, because remember, where your focus goes, energy flows. So if you are focusing on the stress or where you think the root of the problem is, you are actually getting into alignment with the stress, right? So you're doing housework. Okay. So then again, it goes to number 3. How does housework make you feel? Are you doing something that is making you feel good? If doing housework, so here's an interesting thing. A lot of people will use housework as an opportunity to think about things, right? Because it allows you to go into autopilot. People do this when they're driving too. They go into autopilot, gives themselves permission to think about things. So to analyze the problem, go over the problem, trying to come up with a solution. All that's doing is putting energy into the problem, guys. All it does is adds fuel to the fire. So if you have stress in your life right now, the easiest way to be not stressed is to pull your energy out of the stress. Pull your energy out of the source of the stress, or wherever you think the source is. And then put your energy into something that makes you feel good. And so remember, this is it's not a forever. You're not going to pull it out and be like, oh, okay, I'm not going to think about this forever. I'm just going to leave it alone. You're not doing that. All you're doing is replenishing your resources. So you're just going to pull your energy out of out of the chaos, out of where there's too much energy already, and then put it into something that makes you feel good. So Donna, they're saying for me, for you, that there needs to be outside. So there needs to be more outside time. So literally getting out of the four walls are, are making you feel that kind of energy of being stuck. So just getting outside for a little bit, giving yourself that break, and then having that replenished energy to be able to go back. Yeah, and you know what? And your housework will always be there when you come back. It's not going anywhere. I have to tell you guys this. I'm a mother of 3 children. I had 3 children that were all my babies were 18 months apart from each other. So it was a busy household as my babies were growing up. And if I could go back in time and not be so crazy about keeping my house clean and making sure that my floors were done and that my windows and all, I would go back in time and say, you know what? The house can sit like this for a little bit. We're going to go play. We're getting out. I wish that I had done more of that, because I can tell you years of thinking how the housework was important affected my physical body, my adrenal glands, right? That constant feeling under pressure, that constant stress. And so, lesson learned, there's some things that can wait. It's like when I talked to you today about the things that you can coast with, that you don't have to do. Housework is definitely on the top of the list there. Absolutely, definitely on the top of the list. Okay, so Destiny's saying, I tend to overwhelm myself to feel productive if I don't get a feeling of worthless. Yes, so right, this is human programming, right? We have to be busy. We have to be busy. If we're not busy, then something is wrong. And so remember, we have to tune in and ask ourselves, does this busy feel good? Am I feeling good with busy? Because I'll tell you this, when I'm doing my classes and my workshops and my, all my stuff online, I don't go in and create when I feel like I have to do it. If I feel like it has to be done and it's work that has to be done, I have learned to pull back and not do it. I've learned to wait until I'm back in the flow of things and then allow that energy to flow through me. And that's the internal compass that we all need to be using. We absolutely need to be following that for sure. Yeah, so Donna's saying there's a lot going on in my life. So, hun, we're in the middle of a chaos energy time right now, but you can literally pull your energy out of any situation, anytime, always. We always can choose how we feel about something. Okay, so everybody, this is going to be, and we'll check in with you guys this week. I'll probably be doing the online group healing Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't seen what my schedule is looking like yet, but keep an eye out because I'll do a post about when it's going to happen. So Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to do the group healing. We might do some readings too. I haven't done the online readings with you guys, the free readings, for a long time, just because I was feeling like there was a lot of energy vampires that were popping on with that. They come out of the woodworks. They just come there for free readings. So I was pulling back on that, but I think that there's, we have some opportunity to give some guidance and some support to everybody out there right now. So I think that we will do that. I will only be doing it for people who will come live on camera. So be prepared to, make sure that you are looking the way you want to look so that you're not uncomfortable. Okay, guys. So everybody just remember what your focus will be for this week. Go tune into the frequency of the gemstone that came up for you. I think this is an important message in our healing for this week. Give yourself at least today just to coast a little bit. Let some of the things just kind of wait a little bit. Tomorrow is going to be, they're literally showing me the door for June looking different. They're not showing me what's behind the door yet. So when they tell me, I'm going to tell you guys, I will share that information with you. I know that it's different because it's literally the door is closed. They're not letting me see the other side of it. So this will be definitely interesting. Okay, everybody, I am sending you all huge, huge blessings, and I will talk to you again soon, okay? Talk to you soon.